why I said this Cthulhu Druid, it pressures, and it pressures hard, especially if you get that early ramp. Shoop could have tied up, and now Shoop has Hunter in that Reno Warlock remaining. Hunter matches up nicely against the Freeze Mage, but that Reno Lock might struggle a bit. You talked about a few things earlier. The Reno Lock versus Freeze Mage match used to be like sort of a dance, where the Freeze Mage would try and put on enough pressure to force the Warlock to use some of those big keels prior to using Reno Jackson, like anti-keel bot. But now that anti-keel bot's gone, once Reno's done, that's when you go for it. So you just have to make sure you hold off on enough burn until Reno's played. Usually that happens after Alexstrasza, but it's a lot more in the Mage's favor nowadays than it was, say, prior to Standard and prior to Whispers of the Old Gods. So a couple matchup that Terrence is going to want to avoid. Shoop wants to see his Hunter against the Mage, and he wants to see his Warlock against the Warrior.
Yeah, I mean, that's really the big difference is it just needs the Warlock to face the Warrior, and I think because that it's going to be Hunter queued up no matter what. Because if the Warlock loses to the Mage and Warrior is still left for Terrence, again, that's still the matchup he wants. And so I think it's got to be Hunter here. Yep, Shoop agrees.
All right, and TerrenceM once again going to throw out this Mage. And definitely going to have to see this one. Of course, you can see right on your screen there, Shoop has that tech inclusion. I want to call it a tech card, but tech card's sort of a catch-all phrase.
Yeah, it's just sort of
Ragnaros the Fire Lord
charge.
Yeah, it's just sort of good. It's a good card.
It's like a better version of King Crush.
Yeah, because it doesn't take damage, even though it's random.
That's how neutral legendaries work. They're supposed to be better than the class ones.
Amen to that, brother.
Welcome Hulk Hogan to the cast. Shoop not playing the Fiery Bat here. Very interesting.
He just wanted to get pinged. Give Terrence an excuse to ping. Not what he wants.
Freezing Trap on the Blood Mage. I don't mind this. You don't really Freezing Trap much else in this matchup.
Yeah.
Free for Terrence to get a block down. Just leaves the Blood Mage there. Shoop may have been looking for Houndmaster for that Fiery Bat, and that's definitely a possibility. And if that's the case, certainly rewarded for his effort here as well. Mm-hmm. And Terrence, this matchup very similar to the Druid one, where he just needs to answer everything in a row. The Hunter minion's a little bit more sizable for the way that the burn lines up in the Freeze Mage, but a little bit better of turns when you get to those later stages, with Shoop having Call of the Wild and even Ragnaros in this build, and Ragnaros is so good versus Freeze Mage.
It's like Terrence thinking about whether or not to ping his own Blood Mage to try and give himself a better play for the next turn. The ping to face is pretty inconsequential at this stage. Maybe thinking about also whether or not to just attack. But a lot of times you can win a game without ever attacking. You know, Alexstrasza is usually the only minion that gets in for damage. Except for that chip damage early on, but he's going to hold on to it. Just go ahead and ping face. Let his Blood Mage sit on the board for a little bit longer.
Yep. Pretty easy Eagle Horn Bow here. Just go ahead and pass. Not any reason to invest this at the moment. Probably reserving that for Acolytes. Terrence, opportunity to get a second secret down.
It's a lot slower of a start than we're used to seeing from these Hunter decks, but Shoop definitely has a game plan here. He's got the Rag, which is definitely the key to victory in much of these Freeze Mage matchups. You know, it's not often that you say, well, the key to winning the Hunter versus Freeze Mage matchup is to get the Rag out as quick as possible. But Shoop made that conscious decision to put that card in his deck, and he's probably going to be rewarded for it.
Yep, that Loot Hoarder, if it wants to draw a card, will have to get pinged again by Terrence. And now he's staring down a pretty sizable amount of damage, and clearly at this point, Shoop's plan is to turn 7 the Ragnaros and let it take the wheel.
Yeah.
There must be a way.
Alright, so he can go with the Blizzard here, try and stop this damage. Otherwise, he's using a lot of resources, but I think I like the Blizzard.
Can stop the damage. Yeah. First and foremost. Second Eagle Horn Bow, that's going to mean start swinging. Wow, just goes with the Kodo. And I guess with a deadly shot in hand, not really too worried about the presence of a Doomsayer. Like, this actually may encourage Terrence to play a Doomsayer, which would be totally fine with Shoop at this point.
Yeah.
So I think that's the thought process with the Kodo here. Just get something on board that's going to start keeping that repetitive damage there. Just coast on the Ragnaros to victory.
Yeah. So, Terrence has the option to Flame Strike here or go with some of these other spells, and I think he wants to encourage the trade from the Stampeding Kodo to set up for a better Flame Strike, but he's going to be surprised / disappointed / angry / contemplative.
I'm curious if you're in
Once his
Shoop's
rag comes
spot,
down.
if you actually trade on the loot order to make sure the rag goes space.
I think you do.
It's kind of a weird play, but I think you're right.
You give him a draw. You sort of waste his freezing trap. But I mean, the rag might just hit the loot hoarder anyway. So I think you'd have to.
Yeah, there's that Doomsayer as well.
Terrence is like, oh, he's pointing out Call of the Wild. That's not a Call of the Wild.
No, that's way worse. It's way worse news at this point. I can answer this, but it's pretty costly.
Frostbolt, Iceland's Ping.
I mean, that's sort of
Costly,
the
but
idea
probably
behind.
necessary.
It's sort of the idea behind the Ragnaros is that even when it's answered, it just costs the Freeze Mage so much that. I mean, look at Terrence's hand now. This is dreadful.
Yeah. Now this hero power from Shoop is just going to start whittling away. And even just these minions. He's got Kill Command. He's got Eaglehorn Bow. Plenty of damage left. And Shoop's patience early on, making sure that he coined out that rag on turn 8 and got all these resources out of Terrence's hand. Definitely paying off. Now a Houndmaster.
Just do the math. Can you kill him in 2 turns? Or can you pop the block in 2 turns, rather? It's really the only concern here. I like the Houndmaster because that protects very much versus Flame Strike.
Mm-hmm. Then on the back of that, do you Huge Toad hero power? Do you Eaglehorn Bow? Start swinging? He'll put in 5 damage this turn. If he Eaglehorn Bows, he'll put in 8 damage this turn, bring him down to 11, which would set up for lethal the next turn with Kill Command.
Also, holding that beast in hand, too, just in the event that everything got swept. I don't know how it would, but just in case.
Yeah. Alright, damage efficiency. And make sure he fits in these hero powers. I mean, I guess Eaglehorn Bow, Kill Command, hero power would still be enough next turn as long as some of this board survives. As long as any of this board survives.
Well, and then you see the power of what Ragnaros has done now. If that ice block was still up and Ragnaros had not pulled so much burn, this Alexstrasza would have a potential to actually lethal here. And instead, it's just kind of doing nothing. I mean, Terrence may even have to just go with this Alexstrasza and hope that he just actually draws perfectly.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, if you could see Shoop's hand, it would be snap Alexstrasza, hope that I draw perfectly. But there's not really any way to know that Shoop's hand is as strong as it is.
Mm-hmm. Flame Strike only 5 on the board. I mean, I guess from Terrence's perspective, you don't expect too much burn, but man, Doomsayer. Now he can just Deadly Shot, Kill Command, pop at 1, preserve his Kodo.
Yeah, this is just beautiful for Shoop. And even gets to keep his Eaglehorn Bow hidden. I mean, this is a 3-pronged attack right now. Deal with your life total, deal with the board, deal with my hand. That's usually how you get Freeze Mage.
If Alex draws yourself here, but
Freezing trap sitting there is going to make sure that Terrence just... I mean, he has no damage in hand and shoots at 27
whoa,
with a freshly drawn Call of the Wild.
hot off the press.
Gosh, I can't believe he got Huffer.
Now just Eaglehorn Bow plus any attack from any minion on the board. Except Leok. We'll win the game.
You like my invention?
Ice Barrier... no, can't do anything here. He has no way to stop the board pressure. I was about to say, if he drew Frost Nova almost exactly, this is the part where Terrence may just have to go, maybe it's Explosive Trap.
This whole game, he bluffed me.
I mean, there's not any other way to live through this.
Yeah.
There's the bad news.
Desperation,
Unless there's
Arcane Intellect.
Unless there's a Frost Nova from 2012 in that deck. Shoop is going to take the 3-2 lead here.
Crossover from 2012, which was when Hearthstone was first conceived in the mind
It was 2 mana back then.
of a much younger Ben Brode. Hearthstone wasn't even out in 2012.
I'm just saying, it was 2 mana in the testing. You know, in the
It
internal.
wasn't even in alpha in 2012.
I think you're wrong about it. This game's been around internally for a long time.
Fine.
Did you see like the early stages where the board, like, you look at it and you're like, that was Hearthstone? You're like, gosh, congrats. That's a long way to come from that thing. Game looks beautiful now.
Yeah.